that's what attracted me to Went Digital too. Like I came to this company because it had an award-winning culture, extraordinary growth. The difference here, and I initially came and worked inside the company, but the difference here is everything that we do commercially to help clients is about helping people succeed in work and life. So 3 biggest stressors in the life of an American right now is their money, their job, and their health. And I looked at this company like, oh my gosh, this is a company that helps employers with their people's money and job, the work environment, and their health. So that's very rapidly landing the plane. I'm like, how did you get here? And why did you start working in people and culture? I rationalized it in my own mind a couple of years ago. Someone's like, how'd you go from engineering to HR? I'm like, oh, I'm a people engineer.
Yeah.
And I just found that people are infinitely more interesting than things. But I'll still use the example. Like I love to use the example of take a race car. How do you get the race car achieving its total performance? Like what it's capable of. And everybody is like so matter of fact. They're like, oh, well, it's got to have fuel. It's got to have tires. It's going to have an excellent mechanic. It's going to have an outstanding driver. It's going to probably need an entire pit crew. And then you're going to have to be really careful how fast you run it. You're going to have to make sure you don't hit the wall, that you don't overheat the engine, you don't overcook the brakes, all this stuff. And you're like, okay, right. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Now replace the race car with a person. How do you make sure that person achieves their potential? I don't know. Give them a big goal. It's like, what? We know better.
Yeah. Win first.
Right. And yet that still happens. We say, how do you help? And so you abstract it even a step further. How do you help the business achieve? Big goals, money, brand, whatever. Like, get the people succeeding. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. If the people are succeeding, the business will succeed. Okay, great. Now, how do you get the individual to succeed? I don't know. Hire a high achiever.
Yeah.
Hire a successful person. Like, no, how do you get a person to succeed? And it didn't get really popular as like actually something people really cared about until the last couple of years. As the war for talent has intensified, and suddenly you can't go line up 50 people from which you're going to choose your race car.
Yep.
Is you start to realize, like, wow, what if we don't have a choice? What if we have a hard time attracting and retaining talent? What if I have to figure out how to help the person in front of me be successful? Instead of, if they're not succeeding, swap them out and get me a new one.
Yep.
And that was the thing that really got me was in all the years of studying leadership, there aren't a lot of leaders who became really successful by helping other people grow. There are a lot of leaders who became successful by swapping people out until they landed on somebody who was a high achiever.
Yep.
And when there is a multi-generational, multi-decade war for talent, the skills required to help figure out how do I help anyone be successful
Yep.
are going to become more and more and more of a premium.